to the channel. Starting with number 3, Boise, Idaho, a city that has cracked the code of urban traffic. With a population of around 250,000, yet traffic flows smoother than many cities half its size. How? A combination of meticulous planning, intelligent design, and an understanding of how human behavior interacts with infrastructure. The average commute time? Just under 18 minutes, far below the national average of nearly 27. That's not just luck, that's engineering. The city's arterial road network is a masterpiece of efficiency. Wide, well-maintained roads, roundabouts instead of stoplights where possible, reducing idling time and fuel waste, plus a synchronized traffic light system that adapts to real-time conditions. This isn't just a convenience, it's an economic advantage. Less time in traffic means more productivity, more economic activity, fewer emissions. A direct reflection of a well-run conservative urban policy. Public transit? Limited, but by design. Boise prioritizes roadways, not rail, recognizing that buses in low-density areas create inefficiencies. Instead, they use van pools, ride-sharing programs designed for commuters, reducing single-driver congestion while keeping costs low. The result? An infrastructure system that respects the realities of a car-dependent society without unnecessary government overreach. Zoning laws also play a crucial role. Unlike cities trapped in high-density development mandates, Boise allows for suburban sprawl, reducing pressure on central roadways. Parking, abundant and affordable, because a city that forces people into artificial scarcity suffers gridlock. Boise doesn't make that mistake. And here's a surprising factor: bike friendliness. Over 200 miles of bike lanes, integrated seamlessly into the road system. Cyclists aren't forced into dangerous, inefficient detours. Instead, they move with traffic, keeping everything flowing smoothly. A balance of freedom and planning, something many cities fail to grasp. Moving to number 2. Stick around. Madison, Wisconsin. Now there's an interesting one. You ever think about how a mid-sized capital city, right in the heart of America's dairyland, ends up with one of the most efficient traffic management systems? It's not just luck. It's urban planning, engineering, and a bit of old-fashioned Midwestern sensibility. First, geography. Madison isn't like most cities. It sits on an isthmus, Lake Mendota to the north, Lake Monona to the south, limiting expansion and forcing planners to be, well, smarter. There are only a few major arterial roads: East Washington Avenue, John Nolan Drive, and the Beltline Highway. This natural bottleneck should cause congestion, but it doesn't. Why? Let's talk about the street network. Madison has a uniquely European-style grid in the downtown core, dense, walkable, highly connected. But outside the isthmus, more suburban, more cul-de-sacs, more roundabouts. Roundabouts, by the way, reduce severe crashes by about 78% compared to stop signs or traffic lights. That's a statistic straight from the Federal Highway Administration. More roundabouts, less idling, less congestion. Efficient. Then there's the bus system. Metro Transit, one of the highest per capita riderships for a city its size, over 4.6 million rides annually. Hybrid electric buses, real-time GPS tracking, bus-only lanes, simple but effective. No light rail, though. Why? Cost. The city opted for bus rapid transit BRT instead, cheaper, faster to implement. The first BRT line? Launching soon. And bike lanes. Oh, Madison loves bikes. It's rated a platinum-level bicycle-friendly community by the League of American Bicyclists. Over 55 miles of off-street bike paths, connecting right into the city grid. Fewer cars, less traffic. More efficiency. Now, ever hear of adaptive traffic signals? Madison's got them. These systems adjust signal timing based on real-time traffic flow. A second here, a second there, saves hours in the long run. Lastly, we will talk about Lincoln, Nebraska. Now, this is where it gets fascinating, because Lincoln isn't just another Midwestern city. It's an engineered system of efficiency, a case study in urban planning done right. The traffic congestion here? Practically non-existent, averaging just 5.7 minutes of travel delay per day per driver. Compare that to Los Angeles, where commuters waste nearly 119 hours per year in gridlock. That's a difference of an entire work week, gone, just sitting in traffic. But why? How does Lincoln avoid the urban traffic nightmare? Well, it all comes down to planning. Unlike cities that grew chaotically, Lincoln was designed with a radial street grid that directs traffic efficiently outward. O Street, the city's main thoroughfare, stretches across 60 miles, but, and this is key, it's complemented by a parallel road network, meaning congestion is distributed rather than concentrated. More importantly, Lincoln is among the first cities to optimize adaptive traffic signals using real-time data to adjust green light timing dynamically. These AI-driven systems reduce stop-and-go traffic by as much as 40%. It's like giving every driver a VIP pass through the city. Then there's the demographic factor. Lincoln has a population density of only 3,000 people per square mile, far lower than New York's staggering 27,000. Less density means fewer vehicles per roadway mile. But it's not just about fewer people, because the University of Nebraska-Lincoln plays a key role. Over 30,000 students rely on walking and biking, reducing vehicle use drastically. And Lincoln's extensive trail system, covering 134 miles, makes non-motorized travel more appealing. It's one of the few American cities where biking to work is both safe and faster than driving in many cases. Economically, Lincoln's strategy is efficient. Unlike high-cost congestion projects in major cities, where billions are spent widening freeways to minimal effect, Lincoln invests in multimodal solutions. Bus Rapid Transit, BRT. Implementation has improved commute times by 25%, with routes running at 5-minute intervals during peak hours. The result? An estimated 8% reduction in overall car dependency in just 5 years. The environmental impact? Drastic. Less idling, less fuel waste. Lincoln drivers burn 20% less gasoline per capita compared to the national average, slashing CO2 emissions by over 100,000 metric tons annually. And get this, fewer traffic jams directly lower stress levels. A 2020 study linked Lincoln's low congestion to higher overall happiness scores among residents compared to similar-sized cities. That's Lincoln, an urban mobility success story. And with that, we wrap up this deep dive into least congested cities, a study of traffic management strategies. If you found this interesting, go check out our breakdown of Boise, Idaho and Madison, Wisconsin, both fascinating case studies. Comment below, what's the worst traffic you've ever been stuck in? And don't forget, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more eye-opening insights.